Yeah, we're working on our drum discipline. Who wants the Who wants
Do you want it?
Drums on the floor. Who's got a towel? Did you do that yet? Try not to take any wood off it. You know what I mean? Here. Towel. Yeah. portrait right now. Yeah. All right. Just for now. Grab the ball. You can grab the ball. All right. Well, we go. Anyway, we'll get started. And we'll figure out the names again. Okay. So, all right. So here we are. We're going to attempt the Latin units. In honor of our Latin dance class, folks. Right? Okay. So this will expand, but right now we're going to do like the littler stuff. And I thought we'd do. I don't know how much lecturing you guys get, so I'll give you like a small amount. I just wanted to point out, since you're dancers, that often you will have the name of the rhythm, will be the name of the dance, will be the name of the place that the dance and the rhythm take place. So that is the thing that happens. So for instance, bachata, a tango, a shangui, which is the precursor to son, which is the precursor to salsa, which we'll get to in a second. Rumba also means like a gathering and a party, and a bebe is also the same thing, but perhaps maybe a little bit more religious. So here's our little Latin rhythms chart. It might be hard to see, but we have things such as bachata, merengue, are coming from the Dominican Republic. Reggaeton, I feel like, is a pan-Latino element, which we will get to. Bolero is a sort of a Spanish thing that is coming and going everywhere where the Spanish go. Sorry? Zoom in, yeah. So we have things like bossa nova coming, samba coming from Brazil. This one might be easier. The next one might be easier to see. But so we have Mexican music such as mariachi, ranchera. The cumbia is probably more important for us. It is coming from Colombia and South America and into all points north, including Mexico and other places. So cumbia is a big one. We are going to be doing like some. We're going to do salsa, but we're going to understand that is son and mambo coming together in New York. So I'll spare you all of those gory details. But if you're interested, I have a class called Music of the Caribbean or Latin American musical traditions that you might be able to use, I think, for an elective if that ever came up. So, and that's in the Latino and Urban Studies department. So can we go to the next slide? All right. So this one might be a little bit more interesting or easier to read. So again, we have the Brazilian sambas down there in Brazil, off the map. Cumbia, the boleros going back and forth from Mexico to Cuba. We have Haiti, or San Domingue, which becomes Haiti. And the people from Haiti are migrating to the eastern part of Cuba. So Cuba is interesting because it has African influence from one side and European influence from one side, and on the other side, a different African and a different European influence. So Cuba is very important. It's also, Havana is an important place because it was a huge port, and it was big during Prohibition. So lots of music coming from there. Calypso is big in Trinidad and Tobago. That is a semi-religious music that will start, actually next week is Fat Tuesday, I think, right? So there's a carnival tradition, maybe we'll get into that next week. A ska, reggae, dance hall coming from Jamaica, and all of these are going to, again, as we said, Mambo was going to New York to make salsa, and these are the French islands here. They're going back to France. They're actually called, what are they called? They're not colonies, they're actually part of France, believe it or not. Anyway, so next slide. So that's where all the things come from, and of course, Bomba y Plena, that's where we're coming from, Puerto Rican tradition. Merengue, bachata coming from the Dominican. This we should know. This is like a little review. I'm sorry if I'm standing in your way. So we're assuming this knowledge. Okay, next slide. So.
Everybody knows all this.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yes, pros. So what's going to happen then is if we are dealing with African-based music, we have something that is coming to us on a timeline. So with the societies that are using iron much earlier than other people, and so you get like something on an iron or eventually a cowbell. So if you're in 12/8, right? You're in 12/8. What does that mean? What does it mean if we're in 12/8? Yes. Perfect, right. So if that's what we're in, but we want to then put it in Western music notation, you squash everything. And that gives us what we call a triplet. Are we familiar with triplets? Okay, you're probably. The rest of you guys are familiar with triplets, okay. So you have 12 triplets and you start to have a jack-o'-lantern with some teeth missing, you might get something like this. Right, and that's going to roll over and over the bar line forever and ever and ever. All right, and likewise, do we have swing elements with the cymbal patterns that are coming from jazz, might be written as an eighth note, but we're going to feel it as a triplet partial, and that's what's going to give it that syncopated swing the kids love so well. All right, next slide. Okay, so all of that winds up to give us like certain recognizable rhythms. So the Cuban situation, the comparsa, left, right. Bolero on the bongos are nice. So right, that's your bolero. Habanera, we know from what? The opera Carmen, perhaps, was it, right? Long, short, right? Right? So what do all these rhythms have in common? Sorry? Maybe some of them are, some of them are not, but they are syncopated. Do we know what that means? Okay, who wants to tell me? Yes.
It's a steady rhythm. I don't know.
Okay, let's take another stab at it, yeah.
I thought it like it's a steady rhythm.
Repeat the question.
Syncopation.
It's
Yeah.
no, it's raised from the steady rhythm, so it will it's not even. It breaks up the.
It's not expected.
Is it?
So you want to fill that out a little bit. So if we have a downbeat, all right, so let's say we're playing reggaeton, which we may later if you're good, right? We're playing reggaeton. Okay, so Benjamin played 4 quarter notes on the bass of his djembe, right? And that should be our downbeat. That's a persistent rhythm that is used like in dance hall, etc., maybe indigenous music also, which is very solid, on the money, heartbeat, F, etc., all of that. So what is syncopated then is the other stuff. So what do we have here? So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the interesting thing about reggaeton is it's very simple because it's got the very simple bass line, but also the syncopation is just like the simplest syncopation you could have, but it's very obvious. So it's genius, but it's also very simple. So it's not like the Afro-Cuban stuff that we were about to get into. But anyway, that is what is syncopated. So you have accenting beats that you are not expecting. So you're kind of pulling the rug out and making it more rhythmically exciting. So let's try the next, let's see what's on the next slide. Okay, so again, do we need to go over why we're talking about African characteristics in American music? Okay, thank you. So what we have here in popular American music and in Latin American music are the African characteristics that we can find in all of those forms. They're all gonna have an emphasis on polyrhythm, which means,
Multiple.
yes, multiple rhythms. Overlapping poem and response, and that could be vocals, it could be instruments. We're gonna have a free use of the voice, right? So we're gonna have vocables, we're gonna have field hollers, we're gonna play with the notes between the keys and the melody, we're gonna be making sounds between the notes that we are familiar with, we're gonna be making rhythms in between the spaces that we're used to hearing, right, in the West. Lots of repetition, short melodic harmonic units, as well as rhythmic units. Frequent association with dance, so that's, right? You guys are big dance. All right. Use of percussion and drums. So once did we invent a drum set, which I will spare you. But there's a percussion family, and that's what we all are, and that's why we all have spread out with different kind of percussion instruments, and not necessarily drums just yet, right? So what is a percussion instrument? What is a percussion instrument? What is an idiophone? An idiophone. So, right, so this stick is not making any sound, right? Or this stick, right? This stick is not making any sound until I hit it with something else, right? So that is an idiophone or a percussion instrument, right? So this is something that you hit together. That is something that you shake, right? That is something that you shake. So we get shakers, we got sprinklers. And many, venture to say that all societies have a version of these kinds of things. And again, the metal works with cowboy people. And this is the Clave, which I think is where we're going next. Oh, so everybody is repeating stuff. So the bass is repeating, and on top of that is the improvisation. So maybe there's dance improvisation, maybe there's a particular drummer that's on top of the other supporting rhythms. And a pentatonic scale, so again, we're flatting notes in the scale that we're not used to hearing lower, and so that is going to, we have socialized to hear that as mysterious and or sad or something different, something expressive and cathartic. Okay, moving on. Yeah. So, I didn't bring my talking drum, I will bring it. So the drum is holy and made of living trees and animal hides. This is a membranophone, particularly, right? So there we see like the hairy animal hide. And the African people are using the drum to communicate and make sounds that are approaching the syllables of the language they're using. This is used in religious ceremonies, such as Santeria, etc. Vodun, but we'll move on. Okay, we'll move on. We want Jesus? All right, we did polyrhythms. Okay. All right, so here's the fun part. All right, so this is what a time unit box, and this is the Western music notation. So we could attempt this, or we could learn about the Clave, which we would prefer. Okay. All right. Let's see what sticks. Keep going. All right. Okay. Yeah. All right. So let's start with easy-ish. All right. So the Clave then is this, right? These are from Cuba. Lots of stuff from Cuba. So. Yeah, who's got a Clave? Right. So the thing is, it means key, and the Clave is the name of the rhythm, it's the name of the instrument. So it's a system that's giving us a timeline, like the iron bell, but now it's some wood stuff. And what's happening here is we are creating tension, and then we are releasing the tension, right? And we're doing that with the use of syncopation. So we're going to look at this line here from the song, right, or the mambo, or the salsa, okay? So we have, if I wanted to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are all downbeats, yes? Yeah. So what if I were to move the 2 over to the and of 2. What would that sound like? 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is the clave rhythm. So everybody with a clave or a wood block, let's have that now, right? So we're gonna go 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The drummers aren't shy. Good. Awesome. Very good, very good. And off. Okay, cool. Now, okay, so the rumba, which we may not get into today, but just as an example of something that is just on the spectrum, just even more African. It's even more syncopated. So what is happening here? We're setting off the 2, but we're also setting off the 4. So it's even like quote unquote fun, right? So you got 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 2, 3, 4, right? Pick up there. Let's all try that. So, 4, 2, 3, 4, that's just the same thing. There's another rhythm. That's okay. So let's go to all right. All the little things. All those little things. All right. So people that have a bureau, we're gonna hold this in front of us like so. So we're gonna switch to our bureau, right? You're gonna hold it in front of you, and you're gonna have a scraping device, and you're gonna hold that like this. You just scrape down in front of you, right? Yeah. So we're gonna have this go with if we have time, we can swap so we can all appear to the side. Alright, so, okay, so shakery people instead of, alright, let's give a 1. Shakery people, right? We're going to give a 1 to help everybody out, right? 1, right? Okay, so here we're going to go long, short, short, long, short, long, long, right? 1, 3, 1, 3, 4, and 1 is the top of 1 though. 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3. Not 1, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1. 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1. Good. All right, so stop. Keep going. Keep going. All right, shaker people. Keep going. All right, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and these are Brazilian and 0. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and okay. Good. All right, so that's going to be on 1. You guys are like the song. Just for fun. Oh, I got okay, so I'm going to see for a second. So, you think, question, comment? Yeah, that would be like a go-go bell equivalent or a wood block equivalent. With that, you can play clock with that. Yeah, play clock with that. All right, so people with shakers, right? You're gonna have one in each hand, and they're gonna go in opposite directions, right? So sometimes that's hard for people to do. So if it is, you can start with 1, and everything's relative. So this could be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and it could also be one E and two E and, depending like what is going on, but we could be shaking back and forth. People with maracas, right? Good. So we're at the other one, right? So let's try to have two. Try to have two maracas. People that have maracas. And we're going to have one going forward and one going back. And again, it's not going to make a sound until the shot inside of it makes contact, right? All right. So people with just maracas, when you hear it go, one and two, and so again, you want to have, yeah. Good. That's the ticket. Keep going. Over here, over there. Good. Add. Good. Add. There we go. Use some feedback. Okay. Good. Yeah, you guys can play on one. You always play on one. So hold on. One. All right. So that's similar. So we want to go long. And there's a couple of other techniques, but that'll get further down. You want to have that in front of you, in front of you, and then straight in front of you side. I don't like that. Here, you say. So 1 and 2 and up. Okay, good. 3 and up 4. Good. And 1 again. Alright, so we put that together, we get ding, 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 do you have a suggestion or a comment or? Yeah, all right, let's try it again. Cowboy people, and let's open that with 1. Good. And you guys want it also playing? Long, so let's set everybody up. Set everybody up with 1, 2, here we go. You guys can play too. Good. Clave people. That's it. In the finger, so some of them might have like this little carve out spot, and you just make this cupping thing to make a like a, what do you call that? Like a resonator, right? So a resonator, like the inside of a guitar, let's say. So you make a little space for it to kind of make an empty sound, but you guys that don't have that, you do, right? So you're gonna cup that. Oh, so you want to, right, you want to hold it at the cup. right? So let it breathe a little bit. So if I go like that, try this. Yeah. All right, don't hit your fingers. So what I'm going to tell the rest of you guys, you want to hold it. You want to hold it like this, very carefully, like this. Yeah, so you're not hitting yourself. And then they can resonate, right? Yeah, but you'll find it. You'll find it by the ear. And you also don't want to pull it out of your hand. Right? You want to try that? All right. So you're going to cup that. You're going to make it cup underneath there. As you do. All right. Yeah, don't hit your fingers. All right, you want to get above the, yeah, right in the top, right? That hollow sound. Are you good? What you got over there? Everything good? You happy? You happy? Everything good? All right, cool. All right. Okay. That's small stuff. That's small stuff. All right. Yes. 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 Okay. All right, so let's put our small things down for a second. And pay attention now to the body. Okay. Yes. So the bongos are going to have right, so that's the bongo section. That's the bongo sound like this. Sorry. So, okay, so on the high drum, so there's a technique where we're using there's a technique, so all of us are going to eventually do this, right? A technique where we're making a sound with our hand, and a technique that we're making a sound with our thumb. A little smaller surface, right? Right? So we're mostly getting on the rim, so we're using it also like a close, so there's a closed sound, and there's an open sound. So you could try this on, all wanted to try the technique on the drum that you have in front of you. You do that, this particular tune Side two. Heel two. So we have here heel tip or heel toe, slap, toe, tip, right? So heel tip slap. And so by that time, you're looking like this. You're looking like this. You use the both hands and you're slapping with your good hand, right? Okay? Heel tip slap. Right? Let's try that for a second. Heel tip slap. Got it? Heel tip slap. Heel toe slap. And some.
So let's try to make everybody up.
Yes.
And once you start playing your part, don't stop.
And, yeah, and I would say, listen hard, because the whole thing about, polyrhythms is that you might get pulled into somebody else's part, which is why we're trying to keep the sections kosher-ish, right? So, listen for yourself, listen to yourself, listen for your part while it's happening, and then when you really, like, got that, start to listen to some of the other things and how it kind of locks together, which will help you define your part. Yes?
Which one are you playing?
I am going to do the cymbal and the congas. So I'm gonna do the left hand, yes.
Okay, so who's playing the drum part? Raise your hand. Who's playing the drum part? Alright, we got a lot of drums.
That's a lot of drums.
Who's playing the cowbell part? Cowbells? Raise your hand, cowbells.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's nice.
Who's playing the clave part? Who's playing your favorite part? Did anybody not raise their hand? So everybody has a part. Alright. So let's try to really, so we're playing to a track.
Yes.
So you have to lock into the track.
Stay underneath the music.
Try to be within the music. Once you start your part, don't stop. We're gonna try to get through the song last 5 minutes. Here we go. So before you start, how about this? Before everybody starts, let's listen for like maybe 4 bars. Really feel where the time is, and then I'll count it in, and we all kind of come in together. Everybody's good?
Il termine scatino, uno deve chiamarlo matrimonio.
That's okay. So, who lives versus on the scale of 1 to 10, which being the hardest and one being the easiest? What would you guys rate this? Alright, which is the hardest thing? The drum part? Revisit this one more time just to kind of get it in your hands and, yeah, so remember all the parts? Right, Bob?
Yes, I was gonna say there may be much today is, so how many more of these do you think we'll do? Like these next week or just?
Coming up is like I think maybe we'll try to do some more drumming and then we'll start introducing the stuff for the midterm. So who in here has a MacBook or any type of Apple computer? Okay. Alright, good. Who in here has like a PC or a tablet? You guys did not raise your hand either time. You have a MacBook? Just like anything that's not Mac, like so non-Mac people, raise your hand. Okay. So, does anybody know about BandLab?
Yeah.
You guys know about BandLab?
Yes.
So any MacBook people, make sure you have GarageBand on your Mac and that it's working. Any non-MacBook people, make sure you have BandLab or some type of DAW that you can edit music with. What about phone? Make it work. Do some troubleshooting to make it work, and if you want, you can also have
What about iPhone?
iPhone is, I mean, we're gonna really try to, really quick, because we're running out of time, the midterm is we're making a score, you're making a make actual music to a video. So, you have to be able to, the phone is very limited. Unless you can do it, if you feel you can do it on the phone, go for it. It's a video that you're gonna create.
Are we gonna have to bring computers?
Yes.
Can you remind us?
That's what
Are they using the Soundscape program or are they using?
They can make their own sounds, you can use Foley sounds. We'll talk about it more. But good focus, everybody, today. If you could please put your drum by the closet and put your drum on the rack.
And all the little stuff, like the kind of gently here.
It is recorded.
Hold on now, the floor is good. Yeah. All right,
Sorry.
An hour